Sorry, that was my bad. Go ahead.
So
it should be recording again.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry, it's lagging on my end. So anyway, to answer your question, is last year, former Senator Maria Lawson and I met with the various LGBTQ plus oriented students on campus to see what all possible stuff that we can do to help them. And this is one of the things that was an issue for them. So the overall purpose of this is to make sure that UNT is sticking to what it is kind of preaching kind of thing, being inclusive, equality for all kind of thing. There's also this will also benefit individuals who are not the LGBTQ plus community, such as people who want to be professional in every business class that I've been in. I've also talked to various people coaches who help you build professional resumes, profiles, and all that. Pronouns are something that is required in all major social medias are kind of transitioning to that. I know Twitter does that, Instagram does that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what this came for. This also kind of helps with, again, going back to the LGBTQ plus oriented community students, that they are dealing with individuals who are not for housing concerns, and that's something that Beige and I are addressing on a separate issue. But this is kind of like the first domino to kind of fall, in my opinion. And I hope that kind of answers your question.
Somewhat, yes. So my follow-up question, so gender is fluid. I feel like we know that. So I just don't understand why we're asking queer people to pick pronouns permanently, because they may or may not change often depending on the individual, and depending on that, if they might use she, her when they first get the card, but then they have to keep paying to change their pronouns.
This is true. Yes, that is something, from my understanding, that would be taking place. But again, this is an option that is not given to any student so far on campus. That is also why we have the option of blank until if a student does or does not want to put their preferred pronouns, if they are wanting to put do not like their pronouns now and change it then, change it later, it is still an option available for them to leave it blank, or they actually now have the option to go change it for the $5 kind of thing, instead of having no option whatsoever.
And if I might add on to Grant's point, I met with the space, some of the officers from the space, which is a trans organization on campus, and obviously that is like a concern because there is a cost for when you change them and you want to reprint your ID. And currently how it's set up is they can choose multiple. A student could choose multiple pronouns, and so because of that, a lot of people were not really concerned about, well, from my understanding, that just the individuals I spoke with, they felt that because they could select multiple, that was less of a concern about if their pronouns change, they have the option to have multiple to encompass their identity displayed on their ID card. But again, like obviously every queer person experiences their gender differently, so.
Mr. Speaker, can I ask another question? David, can you hear me?
You just want to go ahead and ask it, Gracie.
Okay, yeah, sure. Did he leave a meeting?
Go ahead. Yeah,
Very
sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Just connection issues.
So my other question is, anytime I've ever used my student ID, no one has needed my pronouns. Like normally I'm just swiping to get into a dorm, or I'm swiping for flex, or if I go to an event, like I swipe in, like no one, like hardly, I don't think I've ever had anyone be like, oh, I need your ID to like verify who you are. So I just wanted to clarify that also.
Do you mind if I take this?
Yeah, you go ahead, Beige. You go ahead.
So I think for me personally, it's very validating to have an ID that represents my name and my pronouns, whether or not everybody's going to see it. I mean, every time I have to pull it out, you know, if it has my dead name on it or pronouns that I don't use, it can just be an uncomfortable experience, even though I know nobody's going to really care. It's still very personal to me. So I think that that's an important part of this legislation.
I'd like to kind of add on to Beige's thing. So yeah, this is, again, it's not going to be mandatory. You don't have to do this. This is just, again, I think Beige put it beautifully when she said that it's just a name card that says, this is me kind of thing. Break out into that song right about now. But then it's a very cool, inclusive, heartwarming kind of thing to say, this is me, I'm identified, this is who I am kind of thing. I don't see why people would not hate that, even if it's not like, you're a UNT student, you know, getting pulled over by UNT PD and they're saying, where's your student ID kind of thing. I just think it just shows I am this, I am proud to be this, and that's who I am kind of thing.
Yes, of course, and I totally agree with that. But are y'all aware that students are allowed to put their chosen name and not their dead name on their ID?
Yes, but you do have to go through that process. So as far as I understand, your first student ID is your legal name. Yes. So afterwards, you know, you still have to change it.
To my knowledge, I had actually asked a queer person that's in my inner circle, and they had some concerns about that. And one of their questions was, like, they were able to put their chosen name on the ID, like their first, like, freshman semester, so their first ID. So technically now, if they wanted to add pronouns, then they'd still have to pay. But their chosen name's already on there, so that's how they want to be identified.
How we have it set up right now is when you change or add pronouns to your ID, the first edition is free.
Okay. Okay. That's all my questions.
Love them.
Alrighty. Senator Allen.
Okay, I just wanted to say, Grant and Beige, thank you for putting this forward. As a transgender person who is currently in the process of using, like, well, not only just like a new name, but like getting my pronouns out there. Like, I wasn't able to really come out as transgender until I came to university. I didn't feel comfortable coming out at home. So just for clarification, Gracie, and it's you know, it's a safe space when people are introducing themselves using their pronouns. Mm-hmm. That is like the signal that this is a space you can use. So even if it's just like showing your ID to pick up a package or something, like they know that like you're like a safe person to talk to, that you are someone who's like not going to judge them for who they are, even though, you know, us here at the university, we're already pretty judgment free, but there's always going to be those people.
Much love, Lauren, much love.
Senator Lee.
I was just going to ask if I could also add an answer to one of Gracie's questions. I don't know if that's in order.
Go ahead.
Just back to the, you know, a lot of times when people ask for your ID, they might not overtly ask for your gender and pronouns, but I know, at least specifically in housing, in my experience, a lot of times, you know, we ask for IDs for verification. And even if we don't directly like call them in the moment using their pronouns, just seeing it helps to visually affirm. And it can be, you know, a very subtle way of affirm. Because again, a lot of times, you know, I take students' IDs all the time, like seeing if they live here, checking packages, doing stuff. And so seeing their pronouns ensures that maybe in the future, if I see them again in other interactions, and can make them feel more comfortable to prevent having to have a further misunderstanding. So I personally think it'd be really helpful just from a housing standpoint. Yeah.
And I just also like that we are nowhere done pushing the inclusiveness of this piece of legislation. Beige and I are continuing reaching out to other, from everything from housing to other LGBTQ plus oriented organizations to see if there's anything else that we can do. This is, again, just the first domino to fall. It gives students who are transitioning or questioning or whatever, it gives them a tangible object that says, this is me, this is who I am, And it's very heartwarming when, especially after hearing Lauren, and that was an amazing story. And I just want to say again, thank you for sharing that, and much love.
Any other questions? If not, let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Any announcements or any shout outs? And y'all can unmute yourself or just give a shout out or anything.
I
You don't
have
have
a
to be
personal shout out. Last week I got accepted into grad school.
Oh my God! Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations.
Grad school where?
Yay. Okay, that's it.
Going to grad school.
Yeah, I'm going here at UNT for the library science program.
So cool.
Yay.
Go Eagles.
I'd like to give a couple shout outs, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
One to the awesome, I don't know if he's on the call, but the awesome, amazing intern, Justin. He was the only intern to reach out and very persistently reached out to get a hold to come with me to meet with Director Donovan and Chris for a bike share / loan program that we are trying to start up here. So just kudos to Justin for coming, giving his opinions, giving advice. Just way to go, Justin. If he's not here, I'll text him that later. Another one is, again, to Colin. We literally had the meeting with transportation, and the first stop we made was going straight to Colin. I wanted to go straight to Colin for the SGA communications, and he was able to directly, very quickly, I might add, as soon as I sent him that email, it was like 5 minutes later that he wanted to, or he posted it, something that I needed to be posted. So just kudos for him being effective and just a great communications director.
Andy?
Can I do a shout out real quick?
Sure.
Okay, I want to shout out those who did the pronoun bill. I want to shout out y'all because y'all are making kids feel seen and feel validated, and I really want to thank y'all so much. Y'all are really doing something bigger than yourselves, and I really appreciate that.
Y'all can go. Y'all don't.
So I want to shout out all those people who worked so hard on the online COVID bill. So Senator McFarland, President Skinner, Director Armenta, Chief Jimenez, you guys did great. You guys put a lot of hard work into that bill, and it's really amazing. And so, I'm just really proud of what we can do what you guys can do when you get together and do it. So good job, guys.
Shouting out.
Go ahead.
Shouting out our newest senator. Let's go, Daniel Garcia. Welcome to
Danny.
the team. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well, Luke kind of took mine, but I did also want to little shameless plug. Sorry, guys. Next Monday at noon, I will be performing with my saxophone quartet. We have a few pieces that we're going to be doing. It's going to be in the music building. So if anybody's interested, I'll put a little thing in our group chat. So.
Will one of those pieces be the new SGA theme song?
Oh.
Unfortunately not. I'll get there. I promise.
May I do a shout out? It's not very serious.
Yeah.
Can I shout out JD's cat who made a surprise appearance?
Yes.
Yes.
A little baby. Precious Bean.
What's the name?
His name is Basil.
Basil?
Yeah, it's after Basil Rathbone, the first person who played Sherlock on BBC.
I'm a huge fan of it. I'd also like to give a shout out to the class senators, including, again, our new member for doing an excellent job. We're one seat away from being filled and having full representation for the class students. So just shout out to y'all and I guess us kind of thing. So, woo, class. Especially the political science majors. Putting that one out there.
Hey, and
I would
shout
like
out
to
to
give a
those
shout
people
out.
holding our own alone in the college.
So with
Yes.
announcements,
Retweet that one.
We have
I
a
do
storm.
lot.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Sorry. Just with the storm coming up, just be attentive, be aware of what's going on. Stay warm. Make sure while we have power, hopefully it doesn't go out, but you charge everything. Be prepared for a couple of days. Hopefully it will recover by Friday. Back in person, back on campus, and hopefully warm again. But I just want to make sure everyone's just aware.
That's my emergency manager.
I would like to give a shout out to Gracie for being awesome and stopping by the office. We really appreciate you. Hashtag awesome. Oh my God, furry friends. Okay. Go ahead, Devin.
Wait, let me go find my cat.
Okay, Luke.
So I have an announcement. I wasn't here at the end of the last meeting or two last semester, and I wasn't here for the end of last meeting. I'm sure most of you know, but I am engaged.
We love.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. We're getting married in June.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, summer.
Yeah, we're getting married June 4th. That's the ceremony. We're going to go down to the courthouse early. We're going to go get down to the courthouse on the 22nd. So it'll be 2/2/22/22.
Oh my God. I love your cat. Sorry.
I'd like to shout out Boktober. Boktober hasn't really been in the job for very long, but she's already getting started. Really kind of had a short time frame to start getting stuff done, but she's already looking at election calendar stuff and is already getting started up. So we're really excited to see what happens, what comes from the election commissioner. We're going to be sending out an email. We'll probably put out a couple of social media posts about the election board and a couple of other open positions, so be on the lookout for those. But if you know anyone who's interested, please feel free to refer them to our applications. They're in the link in our bios. I also want to shout out, what's up, Grant?
I was just going to say, I've had some people try to use the link bio in Instagram, and they say every time I open it, it's not working. I just now remember I probably said that in announcements. I'm just putting that on your radar. It always works for me. I just don't know if it's just like a case by case thing. So
I'll let Colin know if they're okay with it. If they wouldn't mind like screenshotting it, that way we know specifically kind of what it's looking like, and Colin could probably backtrack from there. That would probably help.
Okay.
But to that point, I also wanted to to that point, also wanted to shout out Casey and Colin. Casey for putting up with my crap every day. And Colin, because we ask him to do a lot, and he's really been on top of it. Grant kind of touched on that a little bit. But really, that Colin does so much behind the scenes, and for someone who's kind of just come into it without, much training and kind of much background, he's done a fantastic job. And so really happy for both of them. Also, shout out to JT and Bella. We're about to go into our first SSF hearing, and it's been a lot of prep in a short amount of time, and I do appreciate the work that they've been putting into making sure that y'all's student service fee money is spent appropriately. So very excited about that. And like I said earlier, just going to reemphasize, we got SSF hearings coming up. If y'all want to listen or participate by speaking on issues, you can check out the social media post that we put out today for more information on that. So that's what I got.
Grant, hear me? I wanted to go back to your point about the card thing. I think it just doesn't work on UNT's Wi-Fi, because it wasn't working for me, and then I turned the Wi-Fi off, and now it works. Also, thank you for the shout out.
Oh, anytime. Okay, so I'll let them know. It's just a handful of people. I mean, I don't think it's UNT down kind of thing. But I'll let them know, and if they have any more problems, I'll just kind of direct them to you all and take the screenshots as Devin said.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to give a shout out real quick to Casey for no reason in particular. I just love Casey. So that's all.
Oh, another thing, if y'all have not gotten headshots, polos, anything like that, please reach out to Colin. I can also assist Colin, but Colin will be the point of contact. That's SGA COM, COMM at UNT.edu. That goes for the new senators to get your polos, name tags, and all that. Now, name tags will take a hot minute to get, but the polos we can get you and all that. And anyone who just came in kind of during the winter, we can get you set up. Just make sure you're emailing Colin at that email.
Question.
Alrighty.
You said the email was sgacolin@unt.edu?
SGA COM, COMM.
Daniel, when you start
Daniel,
typing,
I'll
like
send you an
communication
email.
automatically appear. It's always a shortcut. When you type in SGA, there's a whole bunch of options.
Thank you. Okay.
I know we've already mentioned this wonderful new senator a lot, but I think it speaks volumes when they are very, very persistent in terms of getting all information relevant to the appointment process. And again, just want to give one more shout out to Daniel. Every time he'd send me, it'd be like within a minute or less than a minute saying, okay, I got you, and shoot me another question. And I'd be like, okay, I got to figure this one out. And then him just being very persistent, very on board, and taking notes and doing all kinds of stuff. So shout out to him again. Very effective person. Thank you.
Alrighty. Any more shout outs? All right. Do you have
I want to shout out Bella and Devin.
Oh.
I said I want to shout out Bella and Devin for valuing my input enough to put me on the online options resolution.
Is that Peyton?
Yes.
You're awesome.
Y'all in the office.
Peyton, that was I was just gonna say, Peyton was on top of this the moment that Senate started. Peyton was saw the need and immediately started working on it. That's the kind of tenacity that helps students. I'm really thankful for Peyton's work, and I know that we'll do amazing things with that kind of diligence this year.
Who? Alex?
Hi, I just wanted to say this really quick. I do have a couple of questions, like once this is all over, and I'm with the NT Daily. I just like a couple quick questions specifically for Daniel and David, and possibly Devin, if you're available.
Yeah, of course. I can definitely email you and we can set up a meeting. Okay.
Oh, it's like really quick questions. Sorry.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Checking. Okay. Announcements. Next week, senators, we're having college reports and committee reports. Moving forward, it'll be a bi-weekly basis. If y'all have met, giving me minutes or any information, please do that. Super important. So Senate leadership knows what y'all working and what we can do to support you. And that as well. Of course, more communication will be sent out via email. But if there's not anything else, I adjourn this meeting at 7:40 p.m. I'm going to start the